Hey guys, welcome back to HGTV Handmade. By now you probably know that it is Thrift Store Challenge Week, so I recently took a little field trip to Goodwill, and not only did I attempt to find an older item to upcycle, but I also tried to do it without getting any additional items from the craft store or the hardware store. I spent some time exploring the thrift store and I came away with this slightly beaten up nightstand for just $16. It definitely needs a little bit of TLC. It has writing and stains and lots of dust. One of the legs is also coming off slightly, so it's time to fix that all up. I'm going to attempt to do this challenge using items that I already own because I do so many craft projects where I have leftover materials and I don't want them to just go to waste. And I was inspired by a project that I did last year that you might remember where I used CDs to make mosaics. I'm using leftover white chalk paint from my wall organizer DIY and leftover CDs from my Mosaic DIY. I also used a foam roller, a foam brush, a heavy-duty pair of scissors, some wire cutters, painter's tape, wood glue, and a cleaning solution made from water and alcohol. I started by cleaning the nightstand using a mixture of water and alcohol. It's necessary to prep the surface so that the paint sticks evenly. I didn't sand the table because I didn't have the materials on hand, but chalk paint is good for painting surfaces even without sanding them first. There were a few stubborn spots that wouldn't come off even with a good scrubbing, but these will get painted over. I also taped off areas of the drawer that I didn't want to paint and removed the drawer handle as well. The last thing that I did before painting was add some wood glue into the part of the leg that was breaking away. I applied pressure for about 1 minute, then wiped away the excess glue. Now it's time to paint. I started off using a bristle brush for the first coat. I used a thinner brush to paint the edges. On the second coat, I switched to a foam roller, and I definitely preferred this because it was faster and it applied the paint more evenly. I used a foam brush for those hard to reach areas, making sure to get all of the nooks and crannies and the underside of the table. It took about 3 coats to cover up the writing and the stains and to get a nice opaque white finish on the whole table. While waiting for each coat to dry, I cut up my CDs. I'm using a new method this time around. I cut around the entire CD with my wire cutters first, then I cut a small triangle out of the CD with my scissors. Now I can go around in a circle, cutting squares out like so. It's not easy to cut CDs, so I do recommend having a lot of patience for this step. Now all you have to do is glue. Add a small dot of hot glue to the white side of the CD. You'll have a bunch of those annoying strands of hot glue, but I'll show you how to get rid of these later. Just press the CD onto the surface and continue. I'm not gonna lie, this step took forever. Having to glue so many individual pieces was definitely a chore, but placing all the pieces was kind of like putting a puzzle together, so I had fun with it. All in all, between the painting and the gluing, this entire process took about 6 hours, so you have to be willing to invest a good amount of time, but since I didn't have to invest much money, I'm okay with that. I'm not quite done yet. I also screwed the handle back into place, and this next step is kind of hard to see, but there are a bunch of strands of glue on top of the mosaic. If you rub the top with your hands, the strands will glob together and you can peel them off. It's kind of like a layer of spider web, but it's not too hard to remove. $16 and 6 hours later, here is the final result. I managed to use all but one of the CDs and every last bit of paint. It came out so beautifully that I don't really want to cover it up by putting much more than this lamp on top of it, and the lamp actually reflects the mosaic pattern in a really pretty way. Have you guys ever upcycled a previously loved item from the thrift store? I hope you enjoyed our challenge week. I had so much fun doing it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next Friday with a new video. Bye guys!